Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing the GTX 950. Oh my gosh, my voice is just so messed up. I'm super sick right now, guys, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm gonna be testing the 950 here in Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 1 DirectX 12 this time around. As you can see over here, this GPU is already a little bit overclocked. I manually overclocked it, plus 100 on the core, plus 300 on the memory, and it's running at like 1350 megahertz, I would say, maybe 1400 megahertz on the core here, under full load of course. And to back it up, I'm running a Ryzen 7 3700X with 16 gigs of RAM, of course overkill for the 950, but you guys, especially in DirectX 12 mode that we're testing here today, you don't really need that much CPU power, to be honest. So anything like a Ryzen 3 1200, even if you don't overclock that, should be absolutely fine to not bottleneck the 950. And I'm gonna be testing here today at 1080p low competitive, which is low with epic view distance, medium with no shadows, high with no shadows, epic with no shadows, the usual stuff. DirectX 12 is enabled, as you can see. It's in beta, so we might experience some issues here. Alright everybody, we are here. Oh my gosh guys, my voice is so bad, guys. Okay, I'm gonna be dropping here in the Whipping Woods as always, because wow, okay, so the map is actually getting like some snow around here. Now guys, I think that we're gonna get like a little bit less FPS than DirectX 11 here around the Whipping Woods, but yeah, we got like around 120 FPS to 140 around here in DirectX 11, and right now we're seeing yeah, just like 5 FPS lower than that, I think. Yeah, we're dropping into the 100s, into the 90s even, so that's quite a considerable drop here coming from DirectX 11. By the way, I totally forgot to do our averages and 1% lows here, so let's do that. You guys with something like an i3 CPU or like a lower end CPU that we're seeing a CPU bottleneck in DirectX 11 might go ahead and play in DirectX 12 and actually see a better FPS, you know. That's because DirectX 12 is just a little bit better optimized for the CPU side of things, you know. It actually can utilize your CPU resources quite efficiently, so it ends up getting less of a bottleneck CPU wise. So what the heck, these are different. I haven't wow, okay, so I got a lightsaber here. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I didn't really play Fortnite yet since they made this update, this Star Wars update. I don't really know when they did that, but that's pretty good, you know. We got some free skins as well, so that's always a plus. I can actually utilize some skins. Does this like break everything like instantly? Oh my gosh, look at that. That's beautiful. Wow. The animations as well are pretty damn interesting here. So guys, DirectX 12 low settings, 1080p, not performing bad here, 130 FPS on average. If you have something like a 144 Hz monitor, if you pick one of those for cheap, oh come on, eat that. Dude, please. Okay. You need to put the lightsaber away to eat some mushrooms or for some reason. If you can grab a high refresh rate monitor for cheap, like a 120 Hz, 144 Hz. Actually, my friend picked up a 120 Hz like a year ago for 60 bucks. So, I mean, if you can do that, pick up one of those for cheap. What the heck is that? I highly suggest you do so, because the experience is totally different, and even if you have a GTX 950, you can take advantage of those high refresh rates, even with like a GTX 750 Ti. If you play like CSGO and Dota 2, and even in Fortnite, the 750 Ti does a pretty damn good job. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you see one of those for cheap. I totally recommend it. It's a completely different experience. 129 FPS on average, 1% lows of 95. So DirectX 12 is running pretty well here on the 950. Of course, it's not running as well as DirectX 11, but that's to be expected, especially with Nvidia cards. Save. What the heck did I just do? Alright, so it's low settings, epic view distance, so this is competitive settings this time around. Let's start our averages and 1% lows counting system here. Actually, whenever I set it to epic view distance only and leave everything else on low, we kind of get pretty much the same FPS as low settings. What the heck is that? I'm gonna pick that up. So the bushes here have some lights on them, which is some Christmassy time. We got a little stutter there, but it wasn't really enough to affect our 1% lows. You know, a stutter here and there, so I just picked up that thing. It didn't do anything, I guess. But yeah, stutter here and there is nothing to worry about. It's normal in Fortnite, PUBG, and games like Battle Royales in general. They will stutter a little bit no matter what your specs are. Even on my GTX 1080, like PUBG and Fortnite stutter a little bit, and I am running a Ryzen 3700X, so that shouldn't really be a bottleneck. So yeah, 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, the game is just the nature of these games. Oh my gosh, there's one there. I think that's a bot because he doesn't have shields. Actually, I'm not sure if I want to go with this because, you know, it's... Oh, you can actually block. What? Okay then. Then we're going with this, definitely. That's probably enough here of competitive settings. 116 FPS on average, 94 FPS, 1% lows. Pretty much the same thing, you know, as low settings. Our 1% lows, our averages are just a tiny bit lower, like 15 FPS lower. But it's still an okay experience. So if you want to play competitively, just do that with the... Oh my gosh. I think they switched off those buttons there. Oh my god, the circle is coming. Jesus Christ, I'm just gonna... Actually, let's just count our FPS here inside of the Whipping Woods while we can. We're probably gonna die in the circle and then join another server because I really want to test it in the Whipping Woods, and... well, I just can't because of this goddamn circle here. So, medium settings here is running pretty damn well. Our 1% lows are actually at 60 FPS right now. Probably were affected by that little stutter previously, but you know what? This is completely playable still if you have a 60Hz monitor, which is like the normal thing to have with the GTX 950, to be honest. You can play on medium settings and not drop from 60 FPS like most of the time, at least. Here in the Whipping Woods, as you're probably aware of, because I say this every single time I make a Fortnite video, this is quite demanding on the GPU because of the trees and the shadows and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty much the most demanding area in the map, and we're still seeing like 60 plus FPS all of the time, so that's pretty damn good here for the GTX 950. 57 FPS, 1% lows. It didn't really drop that much, as you could see there. We were still above 60 FPS, so yeah. This is pretty damn good still with the 950. I'm impressed to see this kind of performance, especially in DirectX 12, because it doesn't perform as well as DirectX 11, but we're still getting 60 plus FPS on medium settings. So yeah, 950, even if you are interested in this card to play Fortnite, it's actually a decent buy depending on the price you get it for, you know. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's night time again. At least we can see the beautiful northern lights. Right there from Christmas, you know. So yeah, I'm not sure, guys. Let's just drop there. We're playing now at medium settings without shadows. I'm just gonna show you that once we land. I would really like a thumbnail with this, but yeah, nighttime thumbnails don't look that good and aren't really too appealing, at least in my opinion. So yeah, we're probably gonna try to die again and get into another one to catch that thumbnail. We just landed 1080p, medium settings without shadows. We're getting a ton of more FPS than medium settings with shadows enabled. Of course, the shadows in this game are really intensive on the GPU, so that's why we're seeing that much of a boost here in performance. But still, it was still playable at medium settings, no problems whatsoever, even with shadows enabled. So I would probably play like that if you want like a visual fidelity experience. We got our first stutter there. Yeah, the game is stuttering quite a bit here, guys. I'm not sure if that's because we just landed or something, but what the heck is this lump of coal? Why the heck? What is this? What does this do, guys? What the hell? Okay then. Alright, let's go outside to see our FPS outside of the house here, looking at the trees and stuff. So it's dropping into the 70s, pretty similar to medium settings with shadows enabled actually. So yeah, we're getting a few more FPS to be honest, but it's not that much. I was expecting a bigger jump in FPS by dropping the shadows, but we will see that in high settings and epic settings. That's where the shadows matter the most to your FPS, and that's just because the shadows is not like a single setting. It's actually like shadows, ambient occlusion and stuff like that, all crammed into one single setting. So I'd love to see like Epic separate the shadow setting, because the game looks really good with shadows enabled, especially at daytime, but it's such a demanding option. If they just like separated it into 3 separate settings, it will be much better, because you could like enable shadows and not get a huge performance hit like you do right now. But I don't know if they're gonna do that. It's been like 11 seasons and they didn't do that, so whatever, you know. We just gotta live with that. Just disable shadows if you have a lower end GPU, of course. Wow, okay, so the guy actually has the Kylo Ren sword. That's insane. Alright, that's probably enough here of medium settings without shadows enabled. We got a 67 FPS, 1% low, 88 FPS average. That's pretty decent still. If you really want those 1% lows above 60 FPS all of the time, this is the way to go, I guess, while retaining a little bit of graphical fidelity, of course. Let's go ahead and set it to high settings. Oh my gosh, I almost clicked back. Why did they switch the buttons here? That makes no sense. Okay, let's just wait until everything's applied and loaded in. Alright, I think that's it. So yeah, high settings at 1080p. I think we got like 30 plus FPS all of the time in DirectX 12, in DirectX 11 actually. DirectX 12 here, we might be dropping from 30 quite a bit. We're very close to that FPS mark. So okay, so as we approach the water, we might see a little bit of an FPS drop here, to be honest. So yeah, 30 right now, 29, 28. Yeah, I wouldn't say this is playable anymore. You really want like 60 plus FPS all of the time in this game, or at least like 30 plus FPS, because I've seen some people in the comments saying that they would prefer to play like at high settings with 30 FPS locked instead of 60 plus FPS on low or something like that. So yeah, I understand that if you really want the visual fidelity, because the game looks gorgeous here on high settings, but I just don't recommend it. You know, you are at a big disadvantage if you're playing at 30 FPS. So yeah, even if our average is above 30, as you can see right now, 32 FPS average, it's not an experience that I would recommend. So just avoid high settings, especially in DirectX 12 here. So 32 FPS average, 1% lows of 24. That's quite low and unplayable, guys. I'm just gonna go ahead, disable the shadows, and we'll see our FPS just going up in the, actually I was expecting like 60s, because usually there's like a 2x performance bump once you disable the shadows on high or epic settings, but not here in DirectX 12. It seems like the 950 is still doing a pretty decent job, don't get me wrong. It's totally playable here, but of course it's not 60 FPS playable, so I would still just play on medium settings if you want that visual fidelity, even with like medium shadows enabled. So yeah, okay, the game looks a little bit better than medium without shadows, of course, but I don't feel like this is a worthy trade-off, if you know what I mean. So 50 something FPS on average. Let's just take a little stroll here. Where's the circle? Oh boy, it's quite far away. I'm just gonna try to save my guy and probably die and dropping the whipping woods again. So that's our objective right now. Okay, so yeah, I really can't do anything here, I think, with 50 something FPS. So okay, let's see if I can spot them at least. There's one there. Okay, I don't think anybody saw me yet. Oh boy, there's one there. Okay, you definitely saw me. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die from behind. No, please don't do this. Oh. That's what I wanted to do anyways, you know, that was our objective after all. 52 FPS on average, 42 FPS, 1% low, still decent. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are here at epic settings this time around, 1080p epic, and we're just gonna be dropping there in the whipping woods as always, and we finally can take like a screenshot over here at daytime. It's actually getting nighttime, so hopefully when I get down there with the glider, I can still get a little bit of light to take that beautiful screenshot. Please, game, just work with me here. Right, where should I make my thumbnail here? Maybe like there? Yeah, that's it. Oh my gosh. By the way, guys, our FPS are really bad right now. Of course, this would be like unplayable. I don't think that the game even like loaded in the grass still, so maybe they did actually. Wow, okay. Oh my gosh, I got this weapon actually. Oh, nice. This is so good. Where is it? Oh, thank you. Oh my god, this is so hard even to pick up things. Okay, so yeah, let's take a little stroll around the park here. Just open some chests over there, and then we're just gonna do epic settings without shadows because this is so bad. It's not really playable. Okay, I think we could like get around 25-30 FPS in DirectX 11, but here in DirectX 12 this is just a monstrosity. So FPS wise, of course, because the game looks awesome, but yeah, 18 FPS right now, 22 FPS on average, 13 FPS, 1% lows. Yeah, that's just absolutely not playable, not even for screenshots. I think let's just, no, it's not this one. Let's just disable shadows. Okay, and now that puts us well above 30 FPS, so it's now playable again. Epic settings without shadows. Of course, it doesn't look anywhere as good without those shadows enabled, but still, it's not too bad. 50 something FPS, and the graphics still look pretty damn good, but of course, it's not 60. So yeah, you guys know where I stand. You absolutely need to get like 60 plus FPS here in Fortnite if you want to be competitive at least. That's pretty damn good, isn't it, as well? Wow. So if you guys have a 60 Hz monitor, I suggest like medium settings with shadows enabled because the game looks good. If the render distance of the shadows on medium settings bothers you, I just would play on low settings. To be honest, it looks almost the same, and I think it looks a little bit crispier than medium settings without shadows, because the anti-aliasing on medium settings without shadows or medium settings is actually a little bit blurry. You know, even here at epic settings it looks a little bit blurry, but you know, it's okay. You can actually spot people absolutely fine at the distance. If you want that crispiness, you know, just play on low settings. I think low settings are pretty damn good here for the 950, especially if you have of course that 120 Hz monitor or something like that. What the heck are you doing, dude? So that's been it for epic settings without shadows. We got 54 FPS on average, 40 FPS, 1% lows. That's pretty decent, you know, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it on low again because I enjoyed that. Yes, save please. I'm gonna go with this one. Oh my god, how sick is that? Look at that, guys. Jesus, that's insane. That looks awesome. Can I destroy cars with it as well, like really fast? Oh my god, look at that. Jesus. Yep, that's our terminal. It needs doors when you got a lightsaber. Look at that. Jesus Christ, that's insane. Can I block their things? Let's try this, guys. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh my god, I'm gonna die with this. Jesus. No, that wasn't as expected. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. 135 FPS on average, 97 FPS, 1% lows. We've already seen that it runs pretty damn well here on low settings. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I love you all. Bye bye.